their 2 and the 3. Sunray is, even for the Morphling, man, Sunray feels like it's going to be an amazing spell this game. If he can get like the early Aghanim shot without being in too much trouble, feels like Team Bright are going to have to work overtime to actually tick these heroes over. They'll do like this decent damage in the initial salvo, but actually killing heroes doesn't seem like it's going to be the easiest prospect for them in this game.
It could be difficult. A lot of it's going to come down to the laning stage for sure. And kind of saw in the last game that puck could have been a huge threat, but the lane kind of messed up the puck, and then the pipe came online, the mage slayers came out, then all of a sudden you don't have damage. So you can always itemize your way out of almost any situation in Dota. But I'm very curious to see what's so good about this Slardar. This used to be the hero of last patch, but then he got nerfed on pretty much every single spell. So we'll see if that's still going to be good. And I'm very curious on, like, why would you pick Slardar in the Phoenix? I want to see if they have something in store for this, but if Irving doesn't have a great game, Slardar isn't a notorious hero for catching up from behind. So very curious about the Slardar and how that's going to do. And of course, Butterfly Effect, there's no way he's going to have as good of a game as he did last game. This matchup is pretty much impossible for Puck in the mid lane. I don't know if there's anything you can do to win it.
Not a fun matchup. Not going to be enjoying life. That's why G2.iG was happy to go for this in the last pick. Give him something to try and fight back against the Puck. So no matter what, we're expecting a better game from G2.iG. As the horn has sounded, we're kicking things off. And we have a 2-for-2 bounty rune trade. You know what? Maybe that's why they lost. You know, sometimes the game starts off a little bit too easy. You're feeling yourself too much. But now you've experienced some hardship in game 1. Everything is equalized in game 2. And your lane should just be... I mean, the only, like, amazing lane they had in the previous game was JT's lane. But this game, the key lane mid, like you mentioned, should be significantly better. But also Monet. Like, yes, he's not going to be able to, like, get insta kills onto the Tidehunter like he did in the previous game, but there's no way they can actually threaten to kill him here. And he should have a lot of free farm for himself on this Morphling.
Yeah, this is definitely a lane where you have to royally mess up if you're a Morphling, I think. Because you're going to get a free farm lane. They don't have those instant stuns. There's no line or anything. Their nuke damage is really bad. Your armor is incredibly high. And Slardar only does physical damage. Same with the Vengeful outside of the magic missile. And almost always you're going to get your shift off before the missile hits you. It's very, very easy unless he does it from the fog or something. And of course, X-Nova, he's always going to be there with the Fire Spears to just bail him out if he does get in a little bit of trouble.
Nice fun time for IG in the bottom lane. We know that middle is going to go in that direction as well. Talk to me about the top side of the map. So, Lifestealer with Red Panda backing him up on the Snapfire versus the mods and the techies here. Is this another situation where G2.iG should be favored, or will Ulu fare a lot better than he did in game 1 here?
I think the way this matchup works in particular is you're going to win as techies and Mars for the first 3 to 4 levels. But if you don't win really, really hard, this Lifestealer is going to get levels, he's going to get items, he's going to get more points in the feast, and then eventually it's going to be very difficult for you to play the matchup as a Mars. So these first couple levels, really going to want to keep an eye on how Ulu and Red Panda are doing, and it's mainly just kind of survive the laning stage. When you think of Lifestealer, it's like, yeah, he owns Mars, but that's not really the case for, you know, until like level 5. So they got to exploit pretty hard when they can.
And I mean, from what we saw in the previous game, Team Bright, under these kind of conditions, are happy to just farm away. So, Ulu definitely not going to be under any impetus to make anything special happen for quite some time. But
they're going on Red Panda.
They're going directly onto Red Panda. They wanted this kill. Spear of Mars will be there, but gonna threaten him, but not necessarily enough to tick him over. He survives on 30-something HP. Unfortunately, Baboka did not have a blood grenade on top of him. So, Red Panda will not give up the first blood.
And another big thing to note as well on that top lane is, like, you can notice that Ulu has killed all the trees with his Quelling Blade. So the Spear of Mars typically lands on a tree, and that's a kill. But there's no trees to be found on this top lane. They have all been cut down.
Bro, look at middle. NTS is owning right now. Yeah, he has almost as much CS as Butterfly Effect has denies. This is tough.
It's really not a fun matchup. There's nothing you can do. Normally, Puck wants to just like harass you down, but you have 79 base damage. He went in for 2 bracers against Puck 62. It's Jover in this mid lane. That's all I gotta say. He's nothing to say. Was mad after that first game. He's like, I'm going to like go all out here. It was personal. I don't know if you saw the first wave here, but he got like 2 to 3 denies under the tower that Puck was trying to CS, and from there the matchup just really swinged his way. Get a couple bracers on your side, and now I don't know what Butterfly Effect can do. This is gonna trickle into a situation where DK is gonna be 6 for sure before Puck, and then you're gonna rotate over some techies or a Phoenix, and then you're gonna lose your tower, or you're gonna have to bring both your supports, and that's putting a more onus on the fact that you have to do incredibly well on these side lanes here if you're Team Bright. Otherwise, you won't be able to afford those rotations.
I mean, we saw in the previous game what can happen when a squad that has Puck is unable to make these moves happen. And because of what we're seeing in bottom, Irving not necessarily going to be in store for a super fast blink dagger this game. So the dynamism that Team Brad's going to need in the mid game, not necessarily going to be coming out as expected. Let's see how they deal with it. But at the very least, Irving, at least for now, is actually doing quite well in the CS department. So it's not going to be delayed over that much. Should still be able to open up the map a little bit for a squad, even if he just has to play with like the lifestealer or something for a while. Oh, top lane though, might have our first blood. But Boca goes in with the blast off. Does have himself level 3, the classic man. Blast off into level 2 sticky bomb. Spear catches you on the back end and you just die for sure.
And this is what you kind of needed to alleviate if you were on the side of Team Bright here, but this lane's going way too well for IG. Like, this Mars, 31-5 CS, Lifesteal only sitting at 16. They get first blood. An absolute disaster in the top lane. Disaster in the middle lane. And they're not even winning bot lane, so 3 lanes are lost here for Team Bright here.
It's fine. It's only 3 lanes, bro. You know, winning the jungle, so it's okay.
Who's winning the jungle here? Because it looks like the jungle's being won by G2.iG as well.
Let's see. You see, now I'm out of the hopium. It's like that.
All right.
The one excuse I had is like, okay, no, that's not really happening either.
Alright.
It's
Here's that level 6 DK.
Yep.
They're not even
Pressuring
rotating.
the
Oh, they are
tower.
rotating. X-Nova's coming over.
He's probably just here to make sure that, like, if there's reinforcements from Team Bright, that they can't actually kill NTS, but I don't think NTS really cares. Just wants to clear out those creep wave. They'll get like half damage on this tower. Red Panda's nearby with Butterfly Effect.
Oh,
NTS did eat a lot of damage from the tier 1 tower, and they brought in 4 heroes from Team Bright.
There's no cookie.
X-Nova though. Oh my goodness, did that just happen? He just Dragon Tail Irving to the face. There's no cookie to send him forward, so the entire move pizzas out. Without X-Nova really having to do all that much. Yes, he dropped some Fire Spirits, slowed down some of the attack speed, but it didn't really seem like it mattered. NTS was fine, man.
Yeah, Red Panda chose to go for 2 points in Little Shredder, so he has no points in the cookie. If you had a point in cookie there, I think you die there, for sure. But without it, he's just gonna walk it off. And that's bad news there, as Dragon Form will be back up in 30 seconds. And why not go again? At this point in the game, Monet does not need you in the lane. He does not. So you are free to move however you want. And guess what, JT? He also doesn't need you in the lane. He's sitting with a Vladimir's already. Pre-7 minutes. Vladimir's on this Mars.
What?
He's going to out right-click the Lifestealer in a man fight. He has more lifesteal than the Lifestealer.
No way does he have pre-7 minute Vlads. Okay, I need to check this, dude. This is extremely fast. This is crazy.
Oh,
And not surprising to learn, my friend. He's not only #1 net worth, this is now officially the fastest of the new Vlads that's ever been built. Good job. Well done, JT.
I love how a lot of these heroes are... Alright, no, hold on. Red Panda, he's just going to go down here.
Red Panda?
At the beginning of this patch, everyone was like, wow, Vlad's, it doesn't build in the Helm Dom anymore. It's garbage. But we started seeing Morphlings, which Honestly, Morph does like going Vlad's, but I think this game he won't go. There's a lot of uses. It's kind of like the Mage Slayer as well. This item, even though it doesn't build anything, it gives you so much tempo because for the cost and what it does, it just snowballs the game really hard. And JT, you're going to see, he's just going to take this tower because he has a Vlad's. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just a power spike.
Massive power spike emerging as they also find the kill on the other side of the map. Onto TK. NTS also managing to take down a lot of damage onto the tower itself. TK's death might mean that they can salvage the tier 1 tower, but this is only a momentary reprieve. With all these heroes around in the mid lane, IG could still decide to play aggressively. And Team Bright, what can they do about this? They already committed the Dream Coil middle. TK is TPing back into this, but feels like one of these supports could easily just end up dead once again. And Red Panda needs to watch himself. Sticky Bomb on top of him. The only reason he's still alive is because NTS's Dragon Form finished. Otherwise, I think we'd be staring down a dead Snapfire at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think G2.iG, the only thing that they're doing is they're forcing the supports to be here. Because what that's doing is it gives a 1v1 for Monet and also gives a 1v1 for JT. And these are both 1v1s in which they're free farming it. And that kind of reflects in the net worth as well. It's 9 minutes in the game, 5,000 advantage for G2.iG here. And yeah, that's what happens when you lose 3 lanes really badly. And it usually doesn't get much prettier from here unless you can somehow get in a position where G2.iG are just out of position. But even if they're out of position, Snare, can't you kill them?
That is the question, you know. I'm seeing Monet posted up super far forward. And the thing is, Team Bright, they don't even pretend to want to go onto him just yet. They know he's going to have the shift. They know he's going to have X-Nova not that far away with Sunray. So they just have to watch him chilling and being like, well, we're kind of impotent right now. And this is like the ultimate catch-22. Do we decide to maybe help out Irving a little bit? Or do we decide to try and keep our tier 1 middle alive? If it's only 2 heroes, NTS is actually completely free in this situation. Man, that sucks. They're going to still go onto him. I don't know about this one, boys. You know, they use a lot of spells, but just these two. He's going to watch them, shake it off. Level 3 in the Dragon Blood, so pretty soon he'll be right back to where they found him.
And they'll just deny it off there. And Monet, can he get caught by a stray stun here? Oh, he got the shift off.
He does indeed. I got the shifts. You waveforms forward. Bro, you know how you know that you're really under 0 threat as when you're playing this Morphling hero? When you're there in that situation, you're chilling, you've got some charges, and you're still just chilling on the agi trades. You're like, they cannot threaten me. The only thing I'm scared of is some right-click damage. They're going to run out of burst after the second stun. So who cares? I'll just waveform, it's fine.
Yeah, the only chance they had there is if they would have caught that stun before the shift, but the moment the shift goes off, no chance. Even if they got it, it would have been really close. Their heroes are just really bad versus Morph. There's not a lot they're going to be able to do. I think the Puck is their best answer, but what can Puck do in this game? This is kind of like the same issue Nothing to Say had in the last game. He lost his lane so badly that he couldn't make any rotations on the map. And that is now the same situation that Butterfly Effect is in. And it really looks like this Puck is getting exploited in this series really hard. Yeah. Both games now, it just hasn't been able to do anything outside of the laning stage, inside the laning stage rather, and even outside.
Dude, is JT really 6k net worth, 11.5 minutes? Is this really happening? Oh my god.
This is why everyone enjoys playing offlane nowadays. And I really like the fact that these offlaners aren't just like rushing a blink and just trying to make things happen. And they're going for more of an item that will help them farm, help them progress on the map. And Dota just isn't a game anymore where you go for kills. It's all about the net worth and however you can achieve it.
How you get that net worth and how you curtail the enemy's net worth. In this game, IG, we're going to do so, but slowly but surely out farming, and then when the time comes with the right items, we're going to start choking out the map.
Speaking of items.
Here we go. Middle, we're going on to TK, as we do have the Blink Dagger reveal from NTS. They're going to get Fire Spirits landed out onto TK. Is he going to tick out to death? He might survive. He gets out with 40 HP, just barely managing to survive. But he will be forced back to the base. And yet again, look at Team Bright. The mid laner and both supports forced to play behind the tier 2 tower in this mid lane. But they can't really do anything else on the map.
They're just taking over their triangle here, and they're going to translate this into the bot tower. This is going to give Lifesteer a little bit of space. I wonder what their plan is here. Is their plan to get the 14-minute wisdom rune? Could be a good objective for them.
I mean, why not, right? They have all their ultimates available. The only, like, they can actually just pop the full combo of the arena into Supernova. And Team Bright, they recognize the danger here. They're gonna smoke up, standing behind here. They're going on to NTS. They throw in some stuns onto him. He's actually falling low because they have dropped the Snapfire ultimate. And that does end up
getting
killing
JT too.
JT swapped back into the arena, very close to Team Bright, and they kill him off as well. An absurd amount of gold now shifting into the coffers of Team Bright. Those are some really good kills and very good read on what IG was going to do post being able to push the tier 1 tower. It earns them a shift of 2k net worth just like that, Fear.
Oh, that was beautiful. Like, you get in there with the Slardar, you get the stun off where the DK can stun you. Then I think the big difference maker there was Red Panda with those Mortimer kisses being online. And I think that's a classic case of being like, hey, this game's really easy, guys. We can do whatever we want. And I like how Bright just doesn't roll over and give it to them. Because if they give that position on the map, give up the wisdom, this game could be really hard as Red Panda. Yeah, that might end up being his life here. We'll see. Yeah, see you later.
Although, it's an honorable death, you know. He provides the damage bottom, goes middle,
Puck might be in
pushes out the wave
trouble.
a bit, gets some farm, and he's fine. Puck might be in danger, but TK definitely is in danger right now. So NTS stunned him up. TK, will he be able to do this? He actually swaps back NTS. They swap him back into a stun here, and NTS is gonna die.
He's dead again.
Supernova was dropped down, but they will not be able to kill it off in time. But with Ulu also making his presence known, they really want to try and find Baboka. They will drop the Dream Coil onto the Sekis. Irving supplying some additional amp damage with the Corrosive Haze. They find 2 more kills. They force out the Supernova as well, and all it costs them is the life of TK. Like Red Panda's life early on, necessary sacrifice to make this happen.
I talked about before, one of the staples for China Dota of the past has been discipline, and we're not seeing a whole lot of it coming out of G2.iG in this game. They're getting a little overzealous here, trying to kill that Venge. It's absolutely crazy, because like JT's farming bot lane in the jungle, right? You also have Monet farming top lane, and he's diving a Venge under the tier 2, gets swapped in, and then after that, like, you're just fumbling a little bit here if you're nothing to say. Maybe he's feeling a little too strong. Or I should rather say he's feeling stronger than what he really is. And that's kind of like showing here as going back and chilling and doing a nice little ancient camp. Maybe the right play here for nothing to say. If nothing else, it's a mental reset. Baboka will just take all the CS for himself. Literally, he's just taking all the farm.
Baboka's like, Sauce fam, we need this mech. Gotta make this happen. You know, I'm sure you've experienced this as well, that when you're playing Dota, especially when you're playing, not just like watching pro teams, personally for me, the odds of me losing a game increase drastically by how well the early game is going. The early game is going way too well, game is lost. Like, so I'm just used to, like, psychologically, I'm used to struggling through Dota, right? Like, then when things are too easy, your brain sort of turns off. Oh, I'm on autopilot, I don't have to worry about things anymore. And then before you know it, you lose.
I mean, that's exactly, I think, what has happened to nothing to say this game. But you notice his mentality has shifted. He's like, yeah, I'm going to start farming safely. I'm going to get my Midas. We're going to chill. We're going to get Roshan. And there's still the elephant in the room there, and that's going to be Monet's Morphling. Completely uncontested this game. Now with an Aegis and getting really close to his Manta, which he will have after this wave here. So the one tool that you do have to deal with Monet, the silence, is now going to be dispellable with Manta, making this hero even more difficult to kill.
Fortunately for the side of Team Bright, they'd actually gone for a smoke maneuver just as the IG Roshan attempt was happening, and they ended up missing their timing on getting a kill. So free Aegis, and it gives a lot of information to IG. They scan them out while they were bottom, and they have full awareness of the likeliest places they're going to play, especially with Baboka's ward having scouted out Irving moving towards the Tormentor. Irving, though, to his credit, not going to get caught by this move. It's going to be Red Panda who sacrifices his own life here. And that's going to be IG. Not just getting the kill here, but looking like they're willing to actually pressure the tower, recognizing their strength, leveraging this Aegis, and trying to open up the map for themselves a little bit more.
Yeah, Glyph is on cooldown for 4 minutes here, so they'll definitely be grabbing this one. I think on the side of Team Bright, you're just going to scatter. I'm kind of just looking at the itemization here on what is your timing going to be if you're Team Bright here.
Smokes. Speaking of timings, Ulu just got himself hit a lot in the nose by Monet. But I was going to ask you, speaking of item, do you like him going back for the omelet after finishing Midas?
I think there's one thing about Dota that I'm pretty confident in is Lifesteer needs to buy an armlet. No matter what.
Well, it's going to help a lot that he's going to get closer to the next item because they just caught JT here. The Sunray is helping quite a lot. And with the arena being dropped down and the supernova, they might be able to find the good combo. But there's Red Panda yet again coming through in the clutch with the low shredder, able to take down the egg. Unfortunately, though, the rest of IG also show up. They kill off this Lifestealer. Now they remove TK from play. A nice little attempt from Team Bright, though. And they almost were able to get out of that situation. It's a little bit unfortunate that Lifestealer had infested so recently, and they couldn't get out of that, but end of the day, IG still walk away happy with getting a Lifestealer kill, but Team Bright get the better exchange in terms of net worth.
Yeah, I mean, it helps a little bit. I think more than anything, gives space to Slardar too, who's getting close to that BKB. I think if you look at Slardar and what he has queued up, I think he needs all three of those items if Team Bright wants to win this game. He needs literally all three of them, and then I'll be a believer. Because that'll enable the Lifesteer bombs, right? The Slardar Lifesteer, this is a really classic combination, but you need the Blink, you need the Shard, and you need the BKB. I mean, the BKB is debatable. Sometimes you don't need that, but it definitely helps. And seeing him as that is his first item, the other two items are going to come a little bit later. And Slardar isn't necessarily the fastest farmer, but that's the timing I'm looking for if you're going to get Team Bright. And yeah, and you look at that and you're like, that seems like a long time away from now. And it most definitely is. So I'm a little scared for the next few minutes of this game, as you do have an Aegis on the Morphling, and they potentially might be looking at your high ground and all your tier 2s. But we'll get there. We'll see what he can do with just the BKB, as that is now picked up.
At the time the Blink Dagger emerges on the Slaughter, Monet will have Manta with Scotty, with Heal. Speaking of Monet, they're going right on him, but he got off the shift. He's fine, man. I'm not really sure about that maneuver from Team Bright. We're going to see TK caught inside the Arena of Blood right now, easily bursted down by JT and Monet. But that was optimistic at best from Team Bright to move in onto the Morphling with that maneuver.
Yeah, they were hoping that the Morph would make a mistake there. And that mistake would be not use shift as walking up high ground, and they were hoping to get the Aegis and get out, but at the end of the day, they only lost Venge for it. At some point, you do have to make a play, right? If you're Team Bright, you can't just dodge forever. So, I respect that they're still fighting, right? And not just like turtling and giving up the whole map. I will say that.
Listen, if it's Fly Morphling, okay, maybe you can rely on that mistake happening. You know, but Monet, not this guy.
Fly catching some strays out here.
Let's just say Fly played Morphling yesterday, and more than once did he die under exact conditions like that. So.
I see. I mean, that's just raw experience, right? Like, in playing a hero, you die a bunch in a bunch of silly ways, and eventually you learn, you know, that this is going to happen if you keep doing it. And then you condition yourself. And when you walk up certain high grounds to pre-shift. And I really like how Monet has been playing this Morphling. And if you don't learn, you're just not good at the hero, so I don't have to say. Outside of that.
You just trash. Learn or you're bad, bro. What the hell?
Learn or play a different hero. You know, it's okay to just not have... to be able to play every hero in the game perfectly, right? And that's just kind of like where Dota is right now. That you have specialists. Obviously, the more versatile you are, the better player you are. But there's no player in Dota that just like plays every hero perfectly.
Who is actually, what do you think? Historically, who do you think is the most versatile player in Dota?
Probably Yatoro. He actually plays almost every hero perfectly.
Honestly, I think Yatoro has a strong argument for being like the go-to Dota 2 player. Yeah. Just in terms of sheer skill. That guy is...
Oh, TI was really impressive. Like, Weaver started trending randomly in the tournament towards the end of it, right? And he just plays a Weaver game, and it feels like he's like a master class at it, and he just doesn't play that hero at all.
Yeah. Yatoro, man. What a god. He's not in this game, though. Of course, he has beaten a lot of the people that are in this game. And IG, they're going to smoke up right now. They want to try to utilize and leverage their combo. They find TK in front of the tier 2 tower. Easy kill for them. Easy lick. This is going to turn into a tier 2 tower push. And this is what we're talking about in the draft. The fact that they have this in their back pocket. You find one kill, you immediately can just play around the DK with ultimate. Just pressure the tower without Team Bright having that many options against you.
I love how Dota just comes like full circle. It feels like Dota's been figured out. It's just like it's always a matter of when, right? But it's always like the same. And this particular patch, like if you look at previous patches, like oh Greaves, Solar Crest are winning the game. Now it's like these Mage Slayer, Vladimirs of the patch, or anything that makes you really survivable and you can walk around the map and make it so the enemy team can't fight you, just wins you Dota.
Case in point, look what Baboka's been doing on the far right side here. He literally has just been chilling by the graveyard, planting bombs, forcing them away from being able to claim this Wisdom Rune when it's going to come out eventually.
That's fun.
I think he took the prior one, but he just makes the game impossible. What are you supposed to do in the situation, man?
Well, I don't see teams win very often from this situation. There is no clear-cut way. You just have to force enemy mistakes. In the past, you would just camp high ground and hold on to that thought.
Panda. Woo!
He might get the Reen off.
Snapfire there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, he's not gonna live. It's definitely even gonna get worse once he gets the Phylactery online or the Conda on Monet. Then that might be a literal one-shot on bench.
I really can't wait to see it. Like full Conda on this hero it's so silly how much damage it does.
Yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, like what do you do in these situations? Like most teams choose to choke you out, but I've seen more opportunities of going high ground, as Irving will just use his BKB to escape here. But outside of that, like you can't camp high grounds anymore, right? Because the map is so big that if someone just sits a ward up there and you're sitting there, you can't really do much. So you just kind of bleed out in this position, and you have to like hope that you can get a good initiation or hope the enemy team goes high ground, and that way you can do something. As Red Panda, well, I guess he'll get saved by TK. But that's cat and mouse here. That's all we're seeing right now.
Yeah. Dude, I feel so bad for Irving. Because he popped that BKB, like you mentioned, to try and escape the move down bottom. But as soon as BKB finished, he ran into that literal minefield from Baboka. He's blown up and dies. You don't see that happen as much anymore, right? Where there's some random area of the map that you can't access because of techies. But you're reminding us, Baboka, exactly why this hero was the bane of all of our existences for so long.
I think if you do it correctly still, you can kill the Tormentor. Like, you can plant enough mines around Tormentor, when it spawns, they'll just instantly die to the mines. He's not doing that here, but he could do it. It's always a cool trick.
Yeah, he's trying to make this a bit fair and balanced, you know? Let them have some fun on the side of Team Bright.
I don't think Team Bright's having fun right now. I don't think there's a single person on Team Bright that's having fun right now. I'll tell you that much. But Blink is online for Slardar. No Shard yet, but maybe it's enough.
See, this is so sad. There it is, the classic. You're going for the first big lifestealer bomb. You're ready to try to take a fight. You see that Roshan's been taken. You're like, well, turn around, boys. No point going in that direction. We all know what lies there.
Here we go.
JT comes forward for the D ward. They're gonna pop out right now. Who can they kill off first? NCS actually falling surprisingly though, and these Mortis kisses are doing a lot of damage. But like you say, he has a cheese. Doesn't even need to use it just yet. And they're just gonna run rampant on the back lines here. Team Bright annihilating both supports, taking down Butterfly Effect, and indeed the call does come out. GG, well played. G2.iG. Definitely, like you said, earlier on, they took a very hard loss, took it to the head, but they said, you know what, we took it personally. No way this is going to happen 2 games in a row. And game 2...